everyone, what is going on? Raven here. Welcome back. Today we're talking about a teenage girl that was so obsessed with her teenage neighbor that she wanted to be her. According to some instances, according to some facts. And she killed the girl for it. Let's talk about it. So, Caroline Reed Robertson and Rachel Barbers. Now, Rachel Barber is the victim in this entire thing, okay? Caroline was a neighbor. She lived across the street for a long time. Rachel Barber's family hired Caroline to babysit because the Barbers have 3 children, or had 3 children. So Caroline was a babysitter. And, you know, she was trusted, left alone with the 3 girls, all these things. Okay? Now, it is said that she has actually become so obsessed with Rachel since Rachel was 10 years old. She died at the age of 15. So for 5 years, Caroline has been obsessed with how beautiful and skinny and everything else that Rachel was. Whereas Caroline thought that she was not. Now, you know, they're not ugly girls. They're both nice looking girls, you know? So there should have been no problem. And this is a sad story, okay? So Caroline knew that Rachel was a dancer. She did a lot of ballet dancing. And she also knew that Rachel wanted to get into some modeling as well. Though Rachel's mother did actually say that, you know, you're not old enough to handle the stress and everything of being a model. So she wanted her to wait at least a couple more years until she was probably like 21 years old or something like that. But anyway, we are getting off topic. So Rachel received a phone call from Caroline. And there were court documents that prove this. Now, it is said that, you know, Rachel, she had a boyfriend named Manny, and they had friends and things of that nature. Rachel was told, you know, Rachel was offered a job by Caroline to go do some modeling. Now, originally, when Rachel mentioned it to her friends, her boyfriend, and her parents, everyone kind of said, no, don't do it yet, type of thing. So Rachel decided, oh, I'm just going to go do it anyway. So she hid the fact that she was actually going to do this from everyone. She just said, I'm going to be making a couple bucks. I'm going to be making some good money. I'm going to be able to afford the shoes because she wanted $100 shoes. Okay. All she had to do was meet with Caroline at a certain day and time to take part in this modeling or psychology study, whatever it was. Some places do say it was actually modeling. Some places do say it was a psychology study. Either way, she agreed to meet with Caroline to make $100. Okay? And that, you know, Rachel kept this secret as to where she was going to go, what she was going to do. No one knew, not even her closest friends, because Rachel actually stopped doing high school full-time or whatever their schooling is over there. It's kind of like she was 15, so obviously she was old enough to be in like the upper schooling. Okay. For the United States, it is high school, or it's just, you know, whatever. Almost uni age. Okay. Now, unfortunately for Rachel, this will be the end of her life. Caroline had planned this, like I said earlier in the video, for 5 years. Now, she actually confided in all these things in her own diary. So, Caroline made sure everything was written down in her diary. Like, she said how beautiful Rachel was and how she wanted to be her and things of that nature. So, when I say things like that, it's because it is actually known in her diary. Okay? Now, Monday, March 1st, 1999 was the day that Rachel died. Caroline lured her to this apartment, I believe it is, or things like that, and she strangled her to death with a telephone cord. It took the police a while to realize what was going on. and to find her dead body. Because originally when like her boyfriend and her parents went to the police station, and I'm talking about Rachel's, when Rachel's boyfriend and Rachel's parents went to the police station to report her missing, they just said, oh, she's just a runaway teenager. Just pay attention to your other children, or don't worry about her. She's fine. Her boyfriend probably knocked her up and left. The police in this case did not do a single thing. And Rachel could have been found a whole lot sooner had she actually been investigated, had her case actually been investigated before it was too late. So Caroline actually wrote this in her diary. She said, on the way to dance school, say that she can't tell anyone that she's meeting me, as I'm not allowed to give the study results to anyone. Ethics. Highly confidential. Not even your boyfriend or your parent. Drug her. Toxic over mouth. Put body into army bags and disfigure and dump somewhere way out. That's what she put in her diary. Word for word. According to this site that I'm reading from. Now, there is another YouTube channel that did do their own video on this. So I'm kind of getting bits and pieces from their video and from this website. So it is as detailed as I can without taking too much from someone, because I want to word things my own way. Okay. Now, it is said that Caroline actually drugged Rachel with some pizza. She put some drugs on her piece of her slice of pizza or things like that as part of the study, quote unquote, or part of the modeling gig, you know, to make sure she's fed beforehand. Now, she kept her body there for 2 days, hidden in the wardrobe or closet, with a telephone still wrapped around her neck. Her body was still there when Caroline closed the door to discourage her father from entering the room on one occasion when he visited her after hearing that she was sick in the days following the murder. She relocated Rachel's body to her father's rural property in Kilmore, where she buried it in a shallow grave. That is where, nearly 2 weeks later, on March 13th, 1999, that was where the police found the remains. Now, because she had been out in the elements now for a couple weeks, you can kind of guess what happens when there's a body stuck out in the woods like that. Animals and insects are going to eat away at it. So, unfortunately, there has been some decomposition to her body. So she did not look like herself when she was found. The judge, Vincent, presiding over the court case, told Caroline at the sentencing hearing that Rachel was vulnerable to such an approach, as you were known to her as a family friend and one-time babysitter, whose motives she would never have suspected. Indeed, what normal young person would have contemplated the terrible existence of such a chilling design, or that she was a subject of such hatred? I have no doubt that you appreciated that the combination of a slightly adventurous but harmless secrecy and the prospect of obtaining what she referred to as, quote-unquote, a heap of money, that would enable her to purchase some shoes that took her fancy, would have been very attractive to a person of her age and apparent temperament. For my part, I find the deliberation and malevolence with which you acted extremely disturbing. Now, there was psychologist Mr. Michael Crudson, who treated Caroline while she was in jail after she was arrested. And it is revealed that her fate, it was hit or miss as to if it would have been decided. So this is what the person said. There's a poignant and disturbing moment in which Rachel Barber's fate seemed to waver in the balance. Caroline told me that she had been in a daze. Then for just a moment, the veil lifted. And she didn't want to do this. But something said that I was in so much trouble now that I had to. And it was as though the veil had dropped again. Caroline was diagnosed with a deeply entrenched personality disorder, which the judge believed it contributed to her conduct or to her actions. It is unknown whether she sought professional help for this while she was incarcerated. Oh yeah, incarcerated. Past tense. As of January of 2015, Caroline was released from the prison, the Deer Park's Dame Phyllis Frost prison after serving 15 years of her 20-year sentence. She allegedly has never expressed any remorse for her crimes. And, perhaps most chilling of all, she drastically changed her appearance while in prison. When Rachel's mother saw Caroline for the first time since she was incarcerated, she thought that Caroline looked like her daughter Rachel. She said, "This is Rachel like this there. The eyes." That is what Rachel's mother said when it came to Caroline being freed. Now, if I do find images of that, I will leave that towards the end of the video. What do you guys think of this case? I think it's horrible. You know, a teenage girl that you trust to babysit your kids and to, you know, maybe be friends with your daughters, ends up being the one to do this. Someone you trusted. I cannot imagine how Rachel's family must feel. I cannot imagine knowing that your daughter was ripped from you because another teenage girl was obsessed with wanting to be your daughter. That must be a horrible thought. Now, it is also said, apparently, that Rachel's parents do not necessarily view her as a danger. I don't know how truthful that is. I would not trust her. I would not want her out. But then again, this is not in the United States. This is in the Melbourne area. So, obviously different areas of the world do different things to treat things differently versus the United States. And it is very horrible that this girl got out, that Caroline got freed, and that she made herself look like her victim. How disgusting. Let me know what you guys think of this case in the comment section down below. Now, the other YouTube channel that I did mention will be linked, so you guys can go ahead and watch her video as well. And I will see you all next time. Bye!